Hey guys, Jay here from the Musky shop. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of a late start here to the season as the lakes around here up in the Minocqua, Wisconsin area are still ice covered. Musky season's just around the corner, and we asked some of our guides here at the shop what they're going to go with if they only had a handful of lure choices and what type of tactical approach they're using. Now we're here with Jim Stewart, owner of the Musky shop. Jim, early season this year, what is your handful of lure presentations you're going to go with?
Well, some things that have worked for me in the past, early season muskies. This little Booker 500 mini buck. It's pretty small. I mean, there's littler ones that we carry and bigger ones, but for early season, this little Booker bait, it's been dynamite for a long, long time. Caught a lot of fish. You got to get out there and you got to find the weeds and find the fish. If you can find some good green weeds, primarily you're going to look in warmer bays that warm up the most first, which is usually the north end of the lake. Find your new weed vegetation. You know, throw these little things I'm talking about here in the new weeds. These are figure 8 spinner baits. There's a mini boss and a boss. This mini boss I'll use early in the year. From shoreline out to that first weed edge, find the weeds, find the structure, find the fish. Then this one, you can use it early in the year or use it all year round. This thing's produced a lot of fish for me. It's been a very good bucktail spinnerbait for me, figure 8 boss.
Yep.
Then the Manta.
Glide bait time.
Yep, I like to use it just, early in the year, summer, but primarily early works good for me. You're trying to find these fish, and sometimes, we get out there, we struggle. So when you always use a glide bait. This is a great search bait. You're going to find them. If there's fish in the area, they will follow it. And if they won't hit it, then you come back with something else. But this is a great way to find the fish. And you just little taps and that thing just glides. You can work it slow, cold water, early season. Really good bait,
Yep.
the Manta. And then a little soft plastic. It's always good to have some soft plastics with you. A Swimming Dog, Musky Innovations. The small one is good for early season. Color depends on your water clarity and whatnot. Just work it, just reel it slow. Let the little tail do a little thumping. It doesn't even have to do very much, but it'll kind of call them in. They'll find it, and it's always good to have a soft plastic.
That's great stuff, Jim.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
the input.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, we're here with Al Frost, Musky Shop guide service and employee. Al, you only had a handful of lures to use early season, and tell us what you're going to go with here.
This is going to be it. We're going to start out with a crane, a little twitch bait, best twitch bait ever made, a 206, can't go wrong. A Mepps Giant Killer or a Mepps Magnum, either way, don't much matter to me. But what I like about a Mepps and their smaller bucktails, they got real hooks on them. You got to be careful using some of these little baby bucktails in spring because they're way undergunned. Stick with a Mepps, you'll be good. This is a Big Fork Sandcat, dive and rise and wiggle. She's got a lot of belly roll, great things in new weeds. And I like small baits in the spring, but small's a relative term. If you're a giant fish, a 9-inch suic is not too big for springtime. Throw one of these plastic ones over the weeds. They rise real quick and get out of trouble. Cast like a dream. 9-inch plastic, high-impact plastic suic.
Yeah, good stuff. Dive and rise. You can run it erratically. What targeted areas are you looking for, especially?
Well, I'm looking for warm water, shallow bays where they would spawn and then move out from there. Every spring is different. This one's running really late. As spring progresses, they move out. They're going to spawn. They're going to move way out, and then they're going to work their way out to the first chunk of structure off that spawning bay. So there's a little hump or a sandbar or whatever just outside that spawning bay. That's where I'm going to start looking. Another overlooked place in the spring is the mud. Oftentimes they'll move out of that weedy shallow bay where they spawn and they'll move out to a mud flat to recoup. They're recovering from the spawn. Once they get to going, they'll move back in, but in the meantime, check the mud. That's where I'd start. Warm water, shallow bays, new weeds, and mud.
Okay, we're sitting down with Elmer Jensen, Musky Shop guide and employee. Elmer, I got to ask you, how difficult was it making your epic space movie, The Quest for Titan? Was it difficult, or was it too easy?
Not at all. It was very, very easily done, and had a lot of fun doing it. Turned out really well. It was great. I mean, I loved it.
A lot of people did. What we wanted to ask you, Elmer, is if you had a handful of lures for early season this year. Ice is still on the lakes up here. Today's the 18th of April.
Yep.
So we're looking at a late ice out. It's going to be probably a slow start to the year. What are your handful of lure selection-wise that you're going to go with this year, and why?
Well, it's going to be, like you said, a late ice out. Water temperatures are going to be cold. So I'm going to go with small baits, fish slow, and some of my good choices are the number 5 MEPs. And then when I fish this bait too, I always put a white twister tail on there, like a Mr. Twister. Thread it right on the hook. Gives it a little bit more action. Potentially a chance to get hit that much more. The other baits I like are twitch baits, and here's a good one right here, and that's a Booker Baby Shallow Raider. An excellent little early season twitch bait. You work this really slow over, if you can, got to find some nice green weeds, And Smitty bait too, dive and rise. This one here is a really good jerk bait early spring. It actually works pretty good almost all year round too. I've had good luck with these even into the fall. So that's a good bait. And of course, got a 7-inch weighted suic here, and the reason I went with the weighted is because it's going to slow down that rise. And that's what you want when the water's cold like that. Slow down that rise and give that bait a little chance to work. So that's a good bait too for the dive and rise type. Then I've got the little Medusa too, the mini Medusa, and we'll just rip that through the weeds. Not real fast, keep it slow. It's an excellent bait for early spring. And then we got this new one in too here, this Big Fork, and Sandcat, smaller bait. It's got the tail on it, perfect. And I think this is going to be a really, really good early spring twitch bait. It'll have the dive and rise and roll to it, so that's going to be a good one.
I agree.
Can't wait until we get a chance to use this.
Yeah, me too.
We haven't had these that long. We just got them in, and it's a great bait.
Sounds great, Elmer. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, we are here with Fred Palermo, master guide and employee here at the Musky Shop. Fred, what's it like working with Elmer on a daily basis?
It is a great day, to say the least. It's always fun. You never know what's going to come out of the old boy's mouth.
No, you don't. The real reason we wanted to ask you, you have a handful of lure choices for early season this year. What are you going with?
I'm going to start out throwing over in shallow bays with the Smitty Wizard. I've had a lot of success with these throughout the years. I'm also going to twitch some shallow running crankbaits, such as the Shallow Raider by Booker. I like the orange-bellied perch. I've had success with that. Also, the 5-inch slammer.
Right.
I like to twitch those a lot. And then also using the 5-inch single blade Musky Mayhem squirrel.
Rabbit squirrel.
Yep. And also a glide bait, twitch bait with the Phantom 6-inch softtail.
Sure.
Orange bellied perch or crappie is one of my favorite patterns.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I love an early season crappie pattern myself. Are you doing a lot of erratic, slow type presentations with those
really
lures?
slow?
Yeah.
Really slow at the spring, because this year we're going to be facing late ice out here in the Northwoods. Everything will be very slow. You're going to really want to key in on your electronics, because if you can find, even if it is just a half a degree to 1 degree warmer, that's where your bait fish is going to be, in my estimation.
Yeah, I
for
agree.
Spring.
That's going to be key this year more than any other.
Dial in on your electronics. Pay attention to them when early musky fishing this year.
Great stuff, Fred. Appreciate it. Thank you. We are with Tom Rudis, longtime employee of the Musky Shop. This guy has seen it all. Tom, could you let everybody know If you had a handful of lures to start out musky season this year in the very cold Northwoods, what are you going with?
Well, I would definitely have a wizard. That's probably
Smitty Wizard.
Smitty Wizard, yeah.
And you like the white nickel thing. You're a white nickel kind of color presentation guy. Yeah, yep.
Yep, and it all depends where you fish, but I like the white nickels. The little Phantom 6-inch soft tail, natural born killer.
Mm-hmm.
These are always kind of something a little bit newer, but good springtime bait too. Little bluegill by Fish Lab. Segmented, little soft tail on it.
Mm-hmm.
Have to have a crane, or 2, or 3.
Twitching.
Yep. And of course, being the Titanian, a Titan. This will be an awesome bait for this upcoming season, guaranteed.
Dive, rise, stop, and go.
Yep.
Speaking of Titanian, Tom, I asked Elmer when he did his segment, how was the shoot when you made The Quest for Titan, Elmer's epic space movie?
Oh, that was awesome. Yep.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Hey everybody, welcome. We're here with Musky Shop guy Tim Ives talking early season tactics and lure selection. Tim?
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Talk to me. What are you going to go with this season, being a late ice season?
Well, normally what I do, my favorite thing is to start off with these 6-inch grandmas, just twitching these over these shallow weeds in these warmer bays. These are probably my number one right here I go to first. Also, nothing wrong with ripping a smaller, shallow regular dog here. Those work well too. Or slow rolling a shallow invader. Or even a glide here. These work really well too. Also, I'm not afraid to even do some trolling with these little smaller cranks like these. Done very well doing that in the spring too. I'm not scared to troll.
What's going to be your approach this year with, we have a very late ice in the Northwoods, so...
I'm going to focus on where the water's the warmest, usually on the north end.
I'm here with Jay Esse from the Musky Shop. Jay, tell us a little bit about how your season's going to start off.
Well, I'd love to, Tom, but right now I'm in an exclusive contract with the Musky 360 podcast only, so not unless you pay me. I need to see cash. I would, but I can't do that.
Any certain lures?
Can't talk about it.
Nothing?
No. Boom. Can't talk about it at work at all. Ever.
Breach of contract?
It would be. Yeah. That's all she wrote, Tom. Thanks for watching, everybody. There'll be links after this video you can look up for everybody's lure selections if you're curious and want to see a little bit more in-depth information on these lures. Thanks again for watching.
Hey, you want to catch more muskies? Check out the Musky Shop.